Hello everybody, today I'm gonna learn you how to refute the King's Indian defense, and we're gonna do it by a line that Danya learned me. So first of all, we start off with the King's Indian. They don't go for the Groenveld, they go for the pure King's Indian with d6. We grab the center, they play d6, and here we don't play the standard move. Knight to f3, we develop our bishop. And this is because we want to use these pawns as an attack on the black king and not commit our knight just yet. So black castles, most logical move, and here is our variation. Bishop to g5, attacking the knight. Because we all know in the King's Indian, the most common move is to break in the center with this move, right? So let's see, what have they played? It's already a mistake if they played on this move. Why? Try to figure it out for yourself, but I'm just going to play it because we can take, and after they take back, we did trade queens. You might say trade queens, why? And then jump our knight in the center, because now we will either win a knight or win a rook. The best line is of course to win a rook, because you get a knight for a rook, so you lose 2 points instead of 3. Here we take, and you attack this pawn because the knight is hanging. Maybe it moves over here, then we just take the pawn, and we're totally fine. We're up an exchange, and we're up a pawn. So that's the trap, but of course they don't have to play this move, they can play other stuff. A lot of the good lines in this variation are also the break c5, where after we will close, but more on the line. This is kind of Benoni style, and I will make a video on Benoni soon, so stay tuned. But I want to learn how I learned the Everback, and that's via a video of Danya. And I just want to show you the game he played, because in that game, like all the main concepts came to life. So let's look at that game. It started off with his opponent playing this move, and Danya immediately criticizing him because this just gives black a target after we play this and make a battery. But it's not that bad because it's just 0.6 and it's still just a game. Here his opponent played e5, common strike in the center because the pin is now gone, of course. And what do we play here? We close the center. Why? Because we want to attack. We want to attack the black king, and if you want to attack you have to close the center, because then the pieces cannot really move easily and the king will be stranded, and these pieces are kind of stuck and cannot come easily to help defend the king. So here he played a4, common move, because he wants to get the knight around like this, and if he didn't play this move we could just kick it away, grab space, the knight had to retreat, so the knight makes 1, 2, and it goes back 3 moves, and we made 1 move and we improved our position a lot more. So that's why they play a4, good move. And here Danya played already g4. Could have started with h4, but g4 is the most aggressive, because in some positions you don't even have to play h4. You can just immediately go for this move. Here he goes for the plan. Danya said you can play g4 here, but it's much nicer to play h4. Why? Because if you played this immediately, so if you played it here, he could have just taken, and we didn't really get much, because our rook is still closed and we want to open up the rook for the attack. So that's why you play h4, and now after this move you open up the rook, and if you get the queen, like let's say to this square, it's over, because you will just mate him. So h4 played, and his opponent here played this knight back, good move. Computer doesn't really like it, but I think it's a very human move, because you see that g4 is incoming and it attacks the knight and the pawn, so either you have to take, open up the h file, or you have to move away then your knight, and then you just win the pawn over here with very good attack. But now if you play g4 you can just lock it up and white's attack is gone because it's closed. You can break through the pawns. So that's why Danya played h5 in this position. Not going for g5 but h5. If you take with the rook. Like I said, we want to open up this file. And if they don't, we just take, also open up our file. So they have to play kind of this move g4. And now we see the golden square. We really want to get our knight here. But how are we going to get our knight there? Like this. You have to get our knight here. So maybe like this. But Danya had another idea. He just developed his knight. And you might say, but it's just looking at these pawns. I mean, it doesn't really do anything. I'll show you the plan in a second. He brought his knight back because he wants to open up his bishop, attack the pawn, and just develop the bishop, get the knight to a more active square. And here Danya plays this move, defending the pawn. His opponent got his plan completed. He got the knight, he got the pawn. So that's alright, he's putting pressure. And now we just simple move this and look at how well defended our center is. Very nice. Here he played c3, and you don't want to take, you don't want to break your strong bind in the center. And if they take you, it's okay, they wasted a move, and we still have our strong center. And here the move Danya played, knight to f1. Amazing, because he still wants to go to g3, so he went with his knight, boom, 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 and he will go to this amazing square. Also, he did this, so he got his knight around and got the pawn forward, defending, solidifying the center. So his opponent took, and Danya took back like this. Very important. You can take with the knight, but you don't take with this, because then there's e4, your king's in the center. He will get the rook to the e file, the queen, and everything. You don't want to do that. You take with the c pawn, because there's nothing going on the c file. And he developed the bishop. We go to g3, that was our plan. The knight is finally transferred. The queen comes to b6. We have to defend our pawn. Let's do it while developing a queen. The rook comes to the c file, just getting ready to attack. Go to the open file, and here, very nice move, top computer recommendation. Danya slides his king up because he wants to connect the rooks, so the rook can come over here in the future, and also just protect everything. And the king is just a bit more safe. It's gotten away from everything on the queen side. Oh, it's gotten away from the queen side. So that's why it's a good move. And here, this move is played. And here, I learned a lot from this move. Let's put it like that. A lot of people will play this and blunder this fork. Danya didn't blunder it and try to guess his move. It's not impossible to find. It's rook to b1. You might say, what? But we already defended the pawn. It's not because we defend the pawn. It's because after this move a3, we can play b4. There is no en passant, and the rook defends the pawn. And the pawn, if the rook wasn't there, the pawn could have just been taken. But now the knight is kind of trapped, because the knight can move, because then you will lose the queen. So very nice idea. So because of this, a3 is out of the question, and that's why I played queen here to want to play this. No, actually not, because now it's a fork. It's just to improve the queen, pin the knight, destabilize the center, and get ready to play b4, b5. And here Danya sacrificed the bishop. The computer doesn't really like it, but that's because it's a computer, and the computer says it's important, by the way, to play h6 first, not just grab the pawn. The computer recommends sacrificing the knight and then putting the bishop here, and I have tried to understand it, but it's kind of a long-term benefit or something, because the piece was sacrificed, so you sacrifice back. But A much more logical move to me is just this move, which is opponent played, but this is much better for white, plus almost +2. And here Danya played check. If you move up, it's checkmate. So you take with the knight. And what did Danya play here? He sacrificed the rook. We can give this a brilliant move. There we go. He sacrificed his rook. You kinda have to take it because otherwise I will double and I will just checkmate you in a couple of moves. Takes, and yeah, it was best to not take and just go for some counterplay, or just the best move is f6, but it's already done here. Of course you take, and now a lot of people blunder. There's one good move, and it is rook no. If you thought that, you lose the game, because the king runs forward and you don't have anything. You have to take the pawn, cutting off the king. If they take the queen, that's checkmate. So they have to stop this checkmate, and how can they do that? By making an escape square. So now after the check, it looks like they're safe. No, they're not. This is just checkmate, this is checkmate, and there is no way to stop it. The only ways are to sacrifice your knight and your queen to get a couple of extra moves. But here his opponent just resigned, Danya won. And this is a very, very nice game of the Overblock variation, which I recommend to all of you. So play this line and defeat your opponent, make brilliant moves, play like Danya, and have a great day. Play some more chess.